Hey, it's Darryl. I'm on the roof of my apartment in Chiang Mai, Thailand, and today I want to share with you some top tips on how you can fly with your guitar safely and avoid putting your guitar in the hold. We've all heard bad stories about guitars being damaged and beyond repair from being thrown around in the hold, and the last thing you want to do is turn up on the other side of your flight with a broken guitar. So here are my top tips on how you can fly with your guitar and try and bring it with you into the cabin. Tip number one, be considerate. And that doesn't just apply to the people that you're going to be talking to whilst boarding the plane. That also goes for the bag that you're going to take on the plane and of course the guitar. So don't take a really heavy guitar with a heavy bag that's the size of you. You want to think about something that's well padded but also light and thin. Because ultimately the smaller the item that you bring onto the plane, the more likely you're going to be able to bring it onto the cabin, right? So personally I recommend a Groove Gear gig blade. That's what I've been traveling with for a while now, and it's amazing. I've actually had it in both the hold and the cabin, and it's done me well so far. So tip number two, you've got your gig bag and you're ready to fly. You get into the airport and you're gonna get into the check-in counter, and they might ask you what your intentions are with your guitar. Are you gonna give it to them to put it into the hold, or are you gonna bring it with you to the cabin? And of course you wanna tell them that you wanna bring it to the cabin. And usually they might be a little bit hesitant about this. They might say that the flight is full and it's probably not gonna be possible, but you're welcome to try. And I like that. They're like sort of encouraging you to give it a go. But sometimes they'll be a bit funny about it perhaps and not let you at all. And in which case you wanna say to them that you wanna gate check the guitar. Now once you get past the check-in desk, you're gonna go for security, and then when you finally get to your gate, you're gonna be waiting for boarding, of course. And at that point, that's when trouble can occur. So here we go, tip number three. Your flight attendants are now calling you to board the plane. And at this point, you're gonna wanna ideally get to the front of the queue because you want your guitar, as it's a long item, tucked at the back of the overhead baggage. Now as you go through the gate, they're gonna ask for your ticket. You're gonna give them your ticket and try and keep quiet about your guitar because they may not notice, and that'll be ideal because then you can just stroll on the plane and nobody said anything. But if they do notice, which is more than likely because they're not that small an item, then try and convince them that you've flown with them before and it was fine last time and that it's a really fragile item. And if they really insist to you that you cannot bring it onto the cabin because the plane is full and there's no room, then unfortunately they're gonna have to take it off your hands at this point. But the good thing about getting this far is if you ask them to top load your guitar, if it goes in the hold, they will top load it, which means your guitar is placed on top of everybody else's luggage and therefore not crushed by everyone else's junk. So that there is pretty much worst case scenario. Your guitar will be in the hold, but it will be top loaded, which is okay. Just be safe by slackening your guitar strings and padding out your guitar bag where you feel it's necessary. And of course, the best scenario is that you get on the plane fine and you just tuck your guitar at the back of the overhead baggage and you get off the other side and you're good to go. So overall, it really is hard to tell in advance which airlines are gonna let you on the plane with the guitar or insist that you put it into the hold. So you've really just gotta give it a go. In my experience, bigger planes like the A380s are great planes to fly with a guitar because there's plenty of overhead baggage space. Smaller planes, on the other hand, where there's just one aisle down the middle, like a 747, it's going to be less likely that you're allowed to take it onto the cabin because there's not that much space on the plane. And also, I feel like places that are more developed, like Europe and Australia, are much more strict on policies, but places like Asia, you shouldn't really have much problem taking your guitar into the cabin. For example, I remember I was flying with Qantas before and they always asked about my guitar, and most of the time it was okay to take onto the cabin. But for Thai Airways, they didn't even ask once about the guitar. And I actually even mentioned it to them because I said to them that I don't know, now I'm on the plane, I don't know where I'm gonna put it because there was no room in the overhead baggage because in this instance, the overhead baggage was tiny, which is very unusual. But anyway, I said to them, is there anywhere that you can put this on the plane? And they were just like, yeah, just bang it in the overhead luggage or on the seat next to you. So yeah, there's certainly no right or wrong for this. It really is just give it a go, try and persevere, try and get to that gate at least so that you can either have two choices. You can top load it or bring it onto the cabin, hopefully. So, best of luck flying with your guitar. I hope you travel safe and that you do not encounter any damaging. Providing you get a good bag, you should be okay.